once we have an English language learner who has a disability, we have to make sure that we don't absolve special education of its responsibility to meet the needs of that student. And so schools need to have access to bilingual special education teachers, particularly, as I said, if we identify that the disability exists in the native language. And for English language learners, if it's not in the native language, then it's probably not a disability. So we have to have a bilingual special education teacher who can address native language instruction. If you don't have bilingual special education teachers, then the special education teacher has to have English as a second language training, because special education delivered in English without accommodation of language proficiency is not going to be effective. And so we have to make sure that special education has the personnel training to meet the students' needs. And then we have to recognize that even though we've identified the student as a disability, they spend the majority of their day in a general education classroom. And so that means that the general education teacher has to be able to accommodate the disability and the language proficiency. And that's where English as a second language specialists play a critical role. They will likely have the student in their classroom, and so they can accommodate language proficiency. They need to learn something about disability and the additional supports the student might need. But they also need to be consultants to the general education teacher and to the special education teacher, so that regardless of where the student shows up, people are responding to the fact that they are duly identified. They're an English language learner and they have a disability. So that's a critical role. And it's surprising to me, but in many school districts, in many schools, when they have a special education referral or placement committee meeting, they don't include the English as a second language specialist, and that person needs to be in the room. So a bilingual educator or an English as a second language specialist needs to be part of the deliberation as to whether it's a disability or a difference. I think actually that part of federal and state law requires coordination between the special education multidisciplinary team and the special language program placement committees. And so I would work through the special language placement team and through my principal, reminding them that the law requires that you have the expertise in the room that will help you make an accurate decision. And so it's all about collaboration. And so it should be hopefully an easy discussion.